Hi there. I hope you are doing well. I thought I would record a small video, something short, regarding the upcoming holiday weekend and all the festivities involved. I get questions from people oftentimes regarding meal prep, how I manage during times of abundance, especially holidays and festivities and lots of people, specifically Italians, who who make homemade semolina pizza crust. Yeah, and all manner of amazing foods. Everything fresh, everything abundant, and everything really harmful for me. Right? I'm speaking for me. Everyone has to decide what they can tolerate for themselves. Well, last night was the start of a pretty, long weekend for me. Um, my brother's children are over and we're having a wonderful time. I love my family, guys, okay? We're Italian, we're a big family, we're there for each other. Um, I get home and there's a ton of homemade pizza with different toppings. I'm not going to get into it. But that's not for me, you know? That's just not for me. I had burgers already prepared and in a glass container with a very good lid. Um, and I had to go out to, you ready for this? A graduation party. A very dear friend and sister in the Lord. Her son was graduating. She invited me. She's very local. I'm going to go. I'm going to bless them. I'm going to say hello. Not going to stay long, mostly for young people. It's like kind of feel a little out of sorts, but I love them. I care about them. They cared enough about me to invite me and wanted me to be a part of that night. So I was there, brought a gift, brought a bunch of their favorite things. It's my mother's doing. It's all of her cookie baking stuff. So it's all of her business. Brought them over. Um, and of course, there was tons of food there. But guys, I went ready. I went hardcore ready. I had already eaten my burger patties. And I like my burger patties. I'm good. I grill them in my ready George Foreman grill. It's an oldie. Can I tell you, it's a beast. It's so big. I'll get like 1 pound packages of beef. I'll just kind of cut them in three, right? So it's like 5 1/3 ounces each before cooked, right? They're usually 80/20 for the most part. I'll put them on that grill. I can do 2 pounds at a time. I catch all the juices. I don't play. And then they go right into the glass dish. I salt them well with, I know I don't have to tell you this again, Redmond's real salt. I really like that salt. Um, and then once they cool, I just kind of put them in the fridge. So I was ready. I went with a full belly. And my friend who knows I'm carnivore goes, "Hey, I have chicken." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much. But I've actually already eaten. I really wanted to just spend some time. Let me see your son." And they were showing me around the grounds and it was really nice. I sat for a little bit, talked for a little bit. There was a ton of food. Wasn't phased. I went ready. Guys, I choose not to partake. I choose to prepare in advance and I choose to overcome. Can I tell you why? I remember the pain. I know it's like pain. Yeah, between physical pain of gluttony. Did she just say that word? Yeah. Let's be real. It's what it was. This type of addiction really causes you to walk in this miserable path of gluttony. The sugars, the carbs, the excessive food. Gosh, it was terrible. So I'd always overdo it and I was always not feeling good physically. And then there's that other shame, the one that's brought on by guilt and shame, right? There's all kinds of pain involved. So when I'm challenged, When someone asks me a question, actually, I have a really cool friend. He's a carnivore, encourages me so, so much. He kind of asked me a question. He goes, "Hey, let me ask you something. If you knew the world was going to end and the Lord was going to return in a month, would you go off carnivore?" And quickly I was like, no, no. He wanted to know why. My why was intense, really intense. Guys, first of all, the Lord led me this way. I would be in disobedience to go any other way. Okay? Because I cried out to him and I asked for help. And he showed me. So I went that way. Why would I be in disobedience? Then I got to answer to him. Can I be honest with you? This is the most important relationship to me. I don't want to be off. I want him to be proud of me and accept me. Well done, my good and faithful servant. And that's in every area of my life, not just this kind of obedience, but the other kind of obedience too, right? We don't want to be in disobedience as children of God. We want to please him. He's so worthy of all of it. He's amazingly merciful. The other aspect is the sin involving gluttony, right? Because, okay, so I have a slice of pizza. I'm going to stop at a slice. Chocolate cake. Yeah, that was it for me. That was the thing. Didn't know how to control it. And then I felt so sick in so many ways. I can't even tell you. So I remember the pain. And now I'm thinking of the sin factor, right? Okay, so he changes the question. What about if the Lord's returning in a week and you knew for sure? No. For me, it's a hard no because, once again, I'm a chicken. The pain is miserable in every way, you know? But what if you didn't really overdo it? I don't listen. If you cannot overdo it and like moderate it somehow, I told you before, I'm going to say it again. Then do it. You do you. But as for this girl, I don't trust me. No, I don't. I'm not going to lie. I know what I'm capable of. Okay, ready? Final question. What if the Lord is coming back? You got 24 hours. You got a day. Your pain's going to be gone in a day. Yeah, that's a tough one. But again, I'm going to say, because of the spiritual aspect, the sin thing, the disobedience thing, I want to be faithful. Lord, give me the grace to be faithful. Interesting question, right? Ask yourself that. It's kind of wild to play with it. It's kind of like, if you can get away with any crime, would you do it? Like, you're going to get away with it. This one for me is even deeper because the implications of it, right? The whole sin nature and just my relationship with the Lord. That stuff kind of makes me wild. But I love those questions. And if you have a couple like that, let's challenge each other. I kind of leave a comment below. I'd really like to hear those questions. And let me know if you would, at the 1 month mark, at the 1 week mark, if you had 24 hours, would you bug out knowing you'd be healed and go to heaven anyway, right? You'll be fine. You're not completely in sin. You're probably just grieving him for a while. Yeah, interesting question, right? Well, I've decided that I have to really be careful with this holiday weekend coming up. You know, there are going to be all kinds of desserts. Listen, our home, we're always hosting. I love my family. We love each other, and there's a lot of kids, and so there's a lot of stuff, right? So there's treats. So if we buy the ice creams, my mother, okay, don't look at me and don't judge. You're gonna make some concessions. Is that the word? Yeah. You're gonna lay some things down, right? My mom will buy, and she listens to me. I gotta say, the cleanest stuff. Like, you know what I mean? It's the ice cream's made with whole milk. Yeah, of course it's sugar. Of course it's poison. The whole thing's not good. But if they're gonna have it, they're gonna have it anyway. I'd rather we buy the cleaner stuff. they're not my kids. So I can't regulate what they do. I can't tell them what to do. I do live by example, and I pray that they follow along. I know that I've impacted them just by walking it out, just different things in my life. They see the turnaround, and I'm so grateful. But they got to make it their own, and so many of them are young. I just keep planting the seeds of the gospel first, right? Because if you know anything about me, that's my foundation. Christ and Christ crucified. Thank God. And then the seeds of eating a good, healthy carnivore. That's human food, people. I don't care what anybody says. That's human food. I'm very grateful for it. So I do plant those seeds. But there's going to be craziness in my home. In fact, there already is. But I'm going to take all the steps I have to. I already grilled a bunch of steak. Listen, I'm not rich. I just do the right thing. On Friday mornings here, the circulars come out, local circulars. So I wake up every Friday morning. And of course, I'm always like talking to my Lord first. Thank you, Jesus, right? For this day. Good morning, Lord. Be thou glorified in this day. And I sing my own little thing to him. That's between me and him. You don't got to know my business. After that, I actually get on the apps, right? There's a few local stores. Guys, I look for the meat sales. When there is one, I stock up. Yeah. Listen, who can spend $14 a pound on steak? I don't know, guys. Yeah, I can't do it. But when the steak is on sale for $4.97, right? Before a big holiday, when there's London broil on sale for $1.99, it's not my favorite cut, but it's good meat. Yeah, I stock up. So I buy what I have to buy. I freeze it, portion it out, whatever I have to do. Sometimes I cook it in advance and portion it out, like the brisket from my niece's bridal shower. There was an abundance left over. So I think I got 6 8-ounce portions in foil and then in a freezer bag, just to kind of break up the routine, right? I froze most of it so that I can pick one day and then 2 days later potentially get it again, or 3 days later, right? I think I have like 3 left. It's good stuff. But having said that, I meal prep, and I always have glass containers. And I kind of make this little threat. I'm like, Mama, don't be giving nobody my food. Don't make me come home and find my burgers are missing. Now, of course, the babies are around, and I'm like, who wants a meat cookie? And it's usually Amelia, the little one. She kind of looks at me and goes, yes, now, like, hurry up, go get it. Because if you take too long, I'm going to look for a cookie. So I make allowances for that. I always make a whole lot more. It gets used up. I'm not worried. I don't like to waste. And if I see it's 2-3 days and I'm not eating it for some other reason, something else came up, I will quickly put it in foil, put it in a freezer bag and freeze it, put a date on it. And I go through it. I do what I have to do so that I can overcome. Guys, I talked to you about the brisket, right? That thing's a beast. Have you guys ever cleaned it? I literally had to go on YouTube. I looked up how to clean and how to prepare a biscuit. No, sister ain't eating no biscuits. A brisket. Bless the Lord. The thing is huge. I find it on sale for like $3.98 and I'm thrilled. It's currently, I think, $6 or $7.98. So I wait. It's worth it. $4 a pound. Very tasty. And I learned, ready for this? You just leave like 1/4 inch of fat on it. Guys, it's not easy. To really get in there, you need a sharp knife. Get yourself ready because you're going to work. It took me forever. You got to love the people that you cook and brisket for, because it is a labor of love. And I love me enough to make brisket. And then usually it's so darn big, I'll cut it in half. And I do have some pretty big, solid stainless steel cooking trays that are kind of high, a couple of inches, because it gives off quite a bit of juice. And guys, I don't play. I don't add anything. I'm going to say this, if you can tolerate spices and you enjoy different seasonings, go ahead. Not this sister. I like Redmond's real salt. And I'm telling you, it is so good. At the shower, I got quite a few compliments. People were like, that brisket was good. What'd you put? I'm like, salt, this kind. Boom, boom. And I popped out one of my little packets because I carry them everywhere. I like my Redmond's real salt. I'm always with. And having said that, I literally take this brisket and I put it in the pot. I mean, after I towel dry it, after you cut it, you trim it, right? You leave that 1/4 inch fat. Guys, leave the fat facing up, not underneath, okay? Because that fat melts into the meat. And do you see my eye? The thing is a beauty. It is so good. It kind of melts. And then if you put it under the broiler at the end for like 15 minutes, sometimes less, bless the Lord, it gets a little crispy, it gets so good. And then you just let it sit for a minute, okay? Let it sit 10, 15 minutes. And then you're going to cut it somewhat against the grain. Yeah, that's a righteous piece of meat. Guys, it is a labor of love. That one is a little bit more work, but I don't mind it. Look, it's a good piece of beef and it's enjoyable. It's got enough fat in it. It satisfies. I do well with it. When I do well with something, I stick with it. Yeah, I sure do. I do well with brisket. I do well with burgers. I do well with steak. I have people who love me that are constantly, I get a text. My mom actually came back from the store today. She had gone out. I had the kids all day. It was wonderful. Ready for this? I'm going to tell you, I made London broil and bacon and cheese. For many of them, they just wanted a bowl of it. So I cut it up, heated it up, melted the cheese. Praise the Lord, it was carnivore. For some of them, the guys came back from disc golfing. I made them, I bought this very good Portuguese bread that I'm a fan of for them. 2 thin slices, but the meat, right? London broil, bacon, had it all ready. Listen, I can't tell them not to eat bread. They're young, they're healthy, they're active. I love them. I'm going to give them the best quality meats and cheeses that I can. I'm going to encourage them to the best of my ability. I ain't making no salad. I ain't making no French fries. You can forget it. But I'm going to give you the best meat because I love you and I want you to be strong and do well, right? It's my family. I'm going to do the right thing for them. I do well with, you ready for this? Slow cooked chuck roast. I got a list here. Bottom round, top round. Guys, let's not complicate things. And I'm going to say this. Don't tell me that you have no time and you don't know how I do it and you don't know how you're going to do it. No, listen. I don't understand these instant pots or these pressure cookers. I'm scared. I'll blow the house up. This is difficult enough for me. I'm like, this camera thing, this whole setup, I don't even edit. I talk. I pray beforehand. I hope it's a blessing to you. And then I go, boop, upload. Praise the Lord. It's done. Don't ask me to edit. Please don't ask me to edit. Crock pot. It's simple. I literally put it on low. Sometimes from frozen. I've got 2 of them, okay? One small, I think it's like 3 quarts. The other one is 6 or 7 quarts. It's a monster. I could put 2 chuck roast, righteous sized chuck roast. And I'm not going to lie. I don't add liquid. I don't add butter because usually the cuts I buy have a fat cap or really good marbling. I put them in this crock pot, put it on low with Redmond salt, cover it. I go to bed. If I put it in at 6:30 at night, by 6:30 in the morning, I come down. Yeah, it's done. It's tender. It's amazing. Sometimes it's gelatinous when it cools, right? There's so much of a benefit to this kind of food, slow cooked, tender. It's beef, guys. And I've mentioned a lot of beef so far. And that's really what I lean towards. You know, a little while ago, I realized I was eating too much pork, and it's not responsibly raised. So they feed it a lot of corn, a lot of soy. I backed off a bit. I was going wild. Bacon and pork belly, too much. So I want to find a local farmer, or not so local, I'm willing to mail order, who raises pigs with decent food, not corn or soy. I don't know that I can find that, but that's my hope. Same thing with chickens. I eat duck eggs because they're fed berries and greens. And I've avoided chicken as well lately, so I'm into ruminant. You know what I got downstairs ready for this next week? A huge boneless leg of lamb. Yep. So I'm going to open it up. Sometimes there's that kind of tendon-ish, nerve-ish veil. Yeah, I don't like that. I do what I got to do. Sharp knife, and I get in there. I make sure to cut away at it. I leave that clean fat. I don't cut away all the fat. It's going to be rendered. It's perfectly good. I will put salt on it, and I will roast it. Incidentally, that brisket, salt, fat side up, completely covered with foil. I let it go at 325 for like 5 hours, and then I broil it. Literally, and then I uncover it and broil it. That's it. That's how I do it. I don't want to fuss with it. I don't really know what else to do with it except cook it down, break it down, and then get a nice char on it. Not too dark, just a nice broiled char. You know, that good stuff, right? I do the same thing with this leg of lamb. I'm gonna cover it. My mom thinks differently, right? Like she'll like put a good sear on both sides, put wine overnight. Don't complicate it. It's got great flavor. It's going to be just fine with Redmond's real salt. Yeah, I'm good like that. I'm looking forward to it. And that lamb I have plans for. I'm going to literally cut it up. I do weigh after cook just so I have an idea of how much I'm shooting for. If I eat 2 meals a day, if I eat 3 meals a day, my portions may change. And I do really well with that. I just need to make sure I'm satisfied. Enough fat in my meal, natural fat. I got to feel like I'm eating something natural. I can't just do a stick of butter. A lot of people do it. They just add butter. They eat frozen butter. They eat tons of butter. I don't digest well because 48 and a half years eating high carbs and lots of sweets, I damaged my gallbladder. So I have to see what I have to do about it. Probably going to need surgery. And it's all good when it's that congested and that bad. You got to take care of it because it could be a liability for the body. And in my case, I know that it is. But even that's in the Lord's hands. It's going to be fine. But I avoid the excess fat. But the fat that's in the meat, the fat that's in my ribeye, I'm eating it. And I do well. I do really well with it. Guys, I do what I have to do in order to be prepared. The steaks are downstairs. The lamb is going to get an amazing marinade. By the end, amazing marinade. It's going to be cut up. I'm going to salt it. And I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to throw it in the oven. There's the marinade. That's my marinade. It's going to be fine. If I whip out a couple of other cuts of meat, it's only going to be to prepare myself for the week because I'm going to freeze some of the lamb. Everything I do with great purpose, and I do plan. I don't want to come home at night and be hungry and not ready. But in the event that I am, I always have a can of sardines on hand, and I'm picking at it before my steak is ready if I'm not ready. It's very rare, but I'll do it. I sometimes, I do have a box of carnivore bars that I don't touch unless I'm traveling, they're expensive. You can make your own. You can dehydrate your own meat. You can even cook down your own beef and make beef bars. There are quite a few people online that do things like that. Powerful, good stuff to have ready. But in any event, I prepare so that I can overcome. Meal prep for me is easy. It's salted and it's roasted, slow cooked, covered in the oven, or a quick grill. Quick grill. I like cast iron grills and I like stainless steel pans. Those are the two things I cook on. Done the research on all those other non-stick things. Ain't nobody got time for that, people. I don't have time for it. I've come too far to go backwards, right? I'm taking it one day at a time. But I'm getting ready. There's going to be a ton of good stuff at this party, at this celebration during this week. It's like 4 days, right? I have 4 days off. And I know that I'm going to have the kids here. Family's coming. I think I have a few cousins coming. A friend is coming. There's going to be lots of good food. It's going to be great. I'm going to be prepared because all the food that I prepare is going to be super good for them and most definitely for me. It's going to be beneficial and I'm going to be able to overcome. I really hope you can do the same. If you need to overcome by having more snacky foods this weekend, I'm going to encourage you to make something like a charcuterie board. We call it antipasto. My mother gets nervous when you say charcuterie. She's like, what's that? What is that, a show board? What is this? She's like, why would we speak in French? We're Italian. We do antipasti, right? Capicollo, pork. We do all kinds of cuts of pork. It could be prosciutto, it could be cheeses. Guys, set it up. You want something else that's snacky? How about deviled eggs? Yeah, you can just boil the eggs, take the yolks out. One of our friends online, Intentional Carnivore, he mixes it with soft butter, those yolks with soft butter, a little bit of hot water just to get them kind of the consistency you want, puts them back in, salts them up. Got deviled eggs. Can you manage paprika? Go ahead. Make them. Make a lot of them. And if at least you know you've got something a little snacky. For me, it's not necessary. If I find myself wanting something to eat after I already ate, I tend to ask myself, wait, am I really hungry? Why do I want to keep eating? When I start asking that question, I realize, yeah, no, I'm not really too hungry. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed. You get news. You got to deal with things. Family stuff, friend stuff, work stuff. Doesn't matter. Life stuff, don't turn on the news. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just pray hard. These things can really push you and you start to what? Feel like you're going to be eating emotionally, right? I know, I feel it. It's not good. So I stop. I grab some ice water. I usually don't drink ice water, but it tends to do it for me. Sometimes I desire it. I like room temperature. And I guzzle some water and I'm like, am I really hungry? I'm actually not hungry. What's going on? And yeah, I know what the trigger is. Something overwhelmed me. It happens, right? We're human. I don't let that happen. So I make sure that I eat good food. I do enjoy my cup of coffee once in a while. Yeah, especially in the morning. I enjoy my cup of coffee. I don't play. If I want, it's definitely salty coffee. I put my Redmond's real salt in it. I like it. A tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half of cream most of the time. Sometimes I go black. I like that too. Salty black coffee. Yeah, the simple things in life. And I take it one day at a time. Those glass containers, though, they're full. I don't play. Why? I need to overcome. I didn't come this far to sabotage myself. I didn't come this far to undo anything. I need to move forward. I prepare. I meal prep. And by the grace of God, I'm going to overcome. Why don't you let me know what you meal prep? I like to learn. I like to glean from others. I really do. What do you like to eat? If you're one of those people that enjoys extra fat on your food, do you take like brisket fat and like grill it or air fry it. That's interesting. I tried that. I got really, really sick. I don't digest fat very well. Um, Excess fat. Anyway, do you add butter to your food? Like excess butter? If you're anything like someone I love, she grinds London broil up and makes burgers. I'm choking. There's no fat in it. So I gotta add fat in it. So that I don't mind adding some butter and I tolerate it well. But I can't add half a stick to 2 patties. Nah, a tablespoon each. It helps. And then the redness real salt helps me get it down. Guys, do what you gotta do so that you can overcome. Meal prep. Prepare. Get those glass containers with those solid lids. I like glass. You do you. I'm loving the glass. Solid. They clock in, they click in, they stay airtight, and you can keep meat in there for like a week. It's fine. My meat don't last no 1 week. You can forget it. It doesn't last a week. Can I leave you with this one simple word? In Isaiah 43:18 and 19, it says, do not call to mind the former things. You know, those things that vex your spirit? Yeah. Stop. Lay it down, okay? Hold on. Don't ponder the things of the past. Behold, the Lord is speaking, right? He says, I will do something new. Now it will spring forth. Will you not be aware of it? You know why we're not aware of what the Lord is doing right here, right now? Because we're going like this. We're looking in the past. We keep rehashing that nonsense. Look at me. Yeah, I need the reminder. Let that thing go. Come on, let's move forward. Make the choices today so that we can overcome. Keep looking forward. The Lord is for you. Daily surrender. Dear God, help us to daily surrender. I will even make a roadway in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. That's refreshing, right? Yeah, I need those rivers in the desert sometimes. My days are deserts. Not easy, but the Lord, He's faithful. Let's stop looking behind. Let's look forward because He wants to do something new. May you be led by Him today. May you be encouraged and may you meal prep so that you can overcome. Enjoy this weekend and do well, okay? The Lord is for you. I'm for you too. I want to see you overcome. Lord bless you. Ciao, ciao.